Hey guys, so here's an Aquarius Plus that I picked up earlier this year at VCF SoCal. And here's its startup screen where you have to press enter to actually get into its boot up basic. And it's a regular Microsoft basic that a lot of people will be familiar with. And I don't have the SD card inserted just to show that it does boot up to its own basic in ROM. So I'll go ahead and put the SD card in and we will show some of the software that's available on that SD card. So here's the initial directory that most people will get. It's got a few different categories. So here's most of the folders that it comes with a variety of software. And then this is one of the firmware updates that I did a couple weeks ago. Then it has this autoexec. I'll show that in a few moments. And then here's a few sample basic programs that I put together that I'll show later on in the video. So for the first part, in the autoexec example, I learned that you can actually load the autoexec example like a regular basic program. And when you do that, it's going to define some function keys for you. So here's a listing of what that looks like. And what the code is doing is it's just defining some function keys, some helper keys. Now, when I first got this, it was defining F12 and F11, and my keyboard actually doesn't have those function keys. So I had to modify this to use F10, F9, and F8. So I'll use the first function that automatically fires off CPM. And you can do a regular directory like in CPM. Here's an example of using the dump program. I'm using a dump of itself, shows a hex sequence of all the values that are in the file that you specified. Control C will cancel out of most commands.
Let's run WS word star. All right. Editing no file. Try D. Name a file to edit. Test text. New file. Yes, it is. This is a test of a text editor running under CPM on a Z80. Welcome to the Aquarius Plus. So that's pretty neat. Over here it's showing we've modified these lines. Not sure how to save. I'm going to hit Control KS. I'm just going to assume that. Oh, that seemed to work. Control KX. Oh, let's see if my file's there. There it is. Can I dump it? There it is in hex. All right. Now to get out of the CPM, I've learned to kind of reset the system. It's Control Escape. And it's kind of like a reset. All right. Next thing I want to show. So that was CPM. Now I'm going to show the Wi-Fi stuff a little bit later. First, I want to show this guy, the tape cassette. So it is powered up. So I'm going to load a sample bass, and this is just a little simple program I did. Just randomly kind of write spaces and then goes to the next line. And then when you're done, just hit space to end it. And it is random every time you run it. So interesting little program. But suppose I don't want to use the SD card. I want to use the tape cassette here because I can on there. So I do a C save. C for cassette, obviously, right? And give it a name. I'm going to call it sample. And he's going to remind you that you have to hit record. You actually have to hit record and play at the same time. As soon as you do that, and then you press enter, and that's it. It saves that program by basically screaming it on the output port into the microphone of this cassette recorder, and a noise that the computer can recognize later. So let's try and load it. I'm going to do new, so there's no tricks. There's no program now in memory. I'm going to hit rewind. It'll load the next program it'll find. And there it is, reloaded from tape. And let's load the character set. This is just a simple little program to show the character set. I believe starting with character number 12 up to 255. So you got a good variety of semi-graphics. Here's what that program looks like. Pretty standard basic. I will warn you, I am not seeing a built-in renumber. I'm sure they have a way. It's just not a standard way that I'm aware of.
Okay, in this next example, I wanted something that exercised the mouse X, Y, and B keywords in this basic. And so I came up with this program where it'll just draw wherever the mouse cursor is when you hold down the left mouse button. You can't hear it, but I'm swapping out, after I run this program, I'm swapping out the USB keyboard with a USB mouse so I can show it responding to those mouse keyword commands. And that'll show up in a moment. But this program also has a timer. It's using the timer built into this basic to help draw these random dots across the screen in random colors, just to show something interesting. So here I am using the mouse, and then I hold down the left mouse button and it does a P set wherever the mouse is. So that's just an interesting example. Okay, next is a couple of ways to use the built-in Wi-Fi capability of the Aquarius and how to set that up using its built-in Aquarius settings program. It's one of the macros defined when you use the autoexec example. One of the functions there will start up this settings program. So from here on out in the video, I'll go silent and just demonstrate a few other interesting aspects about the system.